Hey there, we got a great show for you here today. We're talking basketball live from Ball So Hard University. This is the Inferno. Hello and welcome to the Inferno Basketball Edition. I'm your host, Anthony Mitchell. ASU is coming off a nail-biter win on Wednesday. After letting up 16-point lead in the second half, Jermaine Marshall came in clutch with a three to send it to overtime. The Devils ultimately won this bout 89-78. Looking at some key stats from the game, the team went 24 for 33 on free throws, and Jahi Carsoned all over the place, dropping 29 points by the end of the night. To give you a more in-depth look at the game, I turn to the panel. We got Miles Todd, Trevor Miglarino, and Johnny Soto. Time is yours, fellas.
The Sun Devil win was huge for them as it boosted their confidence to win on the road, not to mention extend their winning streak to 3 and move them up in the Pac-12 standings for a third-place tie. The W was in large part due to the 1-2 punch that is Jahi Carson and Jermaine Marshall, who each scored over 20 points, added a couple rebounds and assists here and there. Trevor, what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, ASU's defense struggled in the middle of the game, allowing Cal to rally back with a 16-point streak and put them in a tough position towards the end of the game. ASU's defense fired up, though, when Baczynski had a block in the second half.
Jordan Blockchinski.
Yep, Blockchinski, I like it. Sun Devils went into overtime knowing they had to pull out the victory, and they did just that. Miles, tell us about the game changers here.
Well, I'm going to talk about the game changers. You see, not only did they extend their winning streak to 3, but they hit a lot of threes. I believe they got 9. With math, that's 27 points. Also, Jermaine Marshall had a really clutch three-pointer assisted by Jahi Carson. And another thing is, ASU took that timeout at the end, and Justin Cobbs actually missed the game-winning shot, sending them to overtime.
Major.
And the momentum carried with him, and we won the game.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Good stuff, guys. Now, quick shout-out to our Lady Sun Devils. In the world of journalism, women's basketball is often overlooked, but we at the Inferno feel it worth mentioning that ASU's women's team is on one. They're 17-3, ranked 14th nationally, and their most recent game was a 68-66 win over Colorado, in which Deja Mann scored 17. Keep it up. Now I've got Torrance filling us in on Pac-12 standings.
Thank you, Anthony. Arizona State, with their recent wins, have been gaining some real traction in the Pac-12 standings. Let's take a look. The Wildcats are up on top, unbeaten at 21-0. UCLA, and then there's Arizona State sitting pretty at third after that overtime win over Cal. Then there's the Golden Bears in fourth, and the Huskies are at the bottom of the top 5. Back to you, Anthony.
What's the picture looking like nationally, Torrance? Show me the top 10 in the AP.
Well, Anthony, we got 3 teams that are unbeaten in the top 10. That includes Arizona, the Big Orange Syracuse, and Wichita State. Now, you may be wondering, why is Wichita State in 4th and yet they're unbeaten? Well, that's because of strength of schedule. 3rd is Florida, and 5th is San Diego State, which wraps up the top 5. Looking at the rest of the top 10, Kansas is number 6 with Michigan State, number 7, Oklahoma State, number 8, Villanova, number 9, and Michigan, number 10. Anthony, it's yours.
Thank you, Torrance. All right, stop. It's panel time. Guys, it's to my understanding that each of you have chosen a player of the week. Care to share?
I got to go with my man, Doug McDermott from Creighton, because he was simply lights out and have a Kevin Durant-like game by going 15 from 26 from the field, ending up with 39 points along with 6 rebounds. The 6'8 senior is also averaging 25 points per game and 7.1 rebounds this year. Also, the last 3 years, he has averaged at least 20 points per game. Trevor, who's your player of the week?
I'm going to take my man, Jabari Parker. He's one of the top NBA prospects, and he showed up against Pitt. The opening minutes with a major dunk. Parker continues to get points as well, outside and inside of the paint. Here he'll come around and he's just gonna boom shakalaka, make that dunk. No help needed. He's gonna be out here. Look at that, outside the arc. Swish! Got it. Money. Then we're gonna see one more right here. That's way too far out. Oh no, he still got it. He ended the game with 21 points and beat Pitt 80-65. Miles?
Very nice, but I'm gonna have to go with Phil Forte, the third, and that third stands for 3 because that man was hitting threes all night. He went 6 for 6 from the three-point range, and he went 7 for 9 from the field. He ended with, I believe, 20 points, and not only that, he came off the bench. If you look at this 3 right here, he goes all the way out, way from beyond the arc. That's Jimmer Fredette range from BYU. He's just nailing him all night long. He got the steal, right back at him, and what do you see? Nothing but net. Phil Forte was hitting threes all night long.
You sure that wasn't Jimmer Fredette?
I wasn't sure. I mean, they're both white, so you know.
All right.
Anthony?
Sorry, guys, let's do my Jabari Parker impression. Dude stays eating. All right, we are reaching the final stretch of the show. It's time for the pick'em. First, we've got live from New York an ACC showdown between the Duke Blue Devils and the undefeated Syracuse Orange. Now, they do things a little different over there on the East Coast. Syracuse estimating a crowd of about 36,000 people. Who's it going to be, panel?
Well, this is going to be a fun and interesting game to watch, especially Jabari Parker going head-to-head with CJ Fair. But in the end, I got the Orange remaining undefeated since Duke isn't as good away from Cameron Indoor Stadium.
I'm going to agree with you. Yep, I'm going to agree with you there. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Orange. Beautiful orange, by the way. Yours too.
Thank you.
Looks like a little putting green, though.
Thanks.
Anyway, Syracuse is going to win, and they're going to beat Duke because 1, they're undefeated. 2, they're at home. And 3, it's going to be a really good game. That's what it's all going to come down to. Yeah. Duke is probably their toughest matchup yet. So, what do you think, Miles?
Well, since they're their toughest matchup yet, how about they lose to them? I got Duke and Jabari Parker. See how
it's an interesting picture you got.
Yep,
there.
They got the bench and the trees and the basketball. There he is right there. Anyway, Jabari Parker's absolutely going to go off. The last 4 games, he's been going off, getting double digits. I'm pretty sure double-doubles. And not only that, that man is he's the top NBA prospect. He's taking him down. He wants to beat him. He wants to end that winning streak. And I believe the Blue Devils are just going to come out on top.
You have to remember, Duke has lost all of their games on the road this year.
However, they've had a tougher schedule, so, they've been used to playing tougher teams.
Syracuse is number 2 in the nation for a reason.
And undefeated. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Miles, you're nuts. Orange all day. Next, I've got for you U of A at Cal. Now, say what you want about Arizona's football team, but the Wildcats are pretty talented in the ways of the hoop and ball. Undefeated, first in the AP, and they've beaten the likes of Duke. Is the home court going to be enough for Cal to pull the upset? Guys?
As much as I would love for Cal to upset, I believe Nick Johnson and Aaron Gordon will lead the Wildcats and remain undefeated in the AP until they come to Tempe, of course, on Valentine's Day.
Yep, I'm going to go right there with you. I'm going to choose U of A. The only reason I'm going to choose U of A is, well, they're number 1 in the nation, they're number 1 in the Pac-12, they're undefeated. There's too many great things that are going for them. I just don't see Cal beating them. Miles?
Well, I say right meow that the Wildcats are also going to win. You see them playing with their ball of basketball yarn? Anyway, they're number 1 in the nation, like you said. They're coming off a great win, as all their other wins. They haven't lost yet. They have a ton of momentum going into the game. We lost to U of A. We beat Cal. Through the transitive property, U of A is coming out on top, as always.
We being ASU.
We being ASU. That's right. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah.
All those.
All right. Last but not least, we've got ASU versus Stanford. On ASU's side of the court, Jahi Carson's dropping 19 points a night. Baczynski is averaging 9 rebounds a game. Stanford, though, they've got Chasen Randall and Dwight Powell. They're turning up. Who's winning this?
Well, you see, I think ASU is going to come out on top because, well, we've just been coming off a hot streak. We're on a 3-game winning streak. We just beat Cal. Jermaine Marshall, and Jahi Carson have a great chemistry together, especially after that clutch 3-pointer. That's got to build some friendship. Also, if you think the road aspect's a problem, Cal and Stanford, they're right next to each other, right up the street. So I think they're not going to be too tired. They're just going to go in there and just take them down.
Myself, I'm going to choose ASU as well. 1, because I think it's going to be a great game. Stanford just lost to U of A by 3. ASU, U of A, big rivals. I think this game will really show what's in store for us being ASU, when we take on U of A. So that's why I'm choosing ASU.
Yeah, you guys pretty much summed it up. Stanford's coming off that devastating loss against U of A, the close game, while on the other side, ASU is coming off the big road win, so I believe we are all going with
ASU.
All right, thank you, Torrance, thank you, panel, and thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Mitchell, and this has been the Inferno.